I did not expect to make this video. We have a major escalation in this Middle East conflict. I'll say it again just for the sake of being redundant, but this is the single biggest catalyst that could give you big downside. 10, 15, 20, 30, 40%. Yeah, it's this Middle East conflict. The direction this thing goes has big financial implications. And again, for redundancy's sake, I will go ahead and re-highlight those for you guys. After this most recent escalation that just happened about 45 minutes ago, it does not seem like a terrible idea to do so. So we're going to get into this situation and what this means for our markets and for your money, ultimately your portfolios, here in this video. Hit that like button if you like to stay up to date with everything that's going on as fast as possible, no matter what time it is. We will keep you informed, as well as subscribe to the channel. The best prescription for your complication is a subscription to the channel, so you can stay up to date with everything that's going on all the time. As well as that, comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about this situation. Does this potentially make things a little bit worse for the ultimate outcome here? Let's just call it that. So, what just happened? Well, honestly, I didn't expect it. U.S. fighter jets strike Iran-linked sites in Syria in retaliation for attacks on U.S. troops. This is the actual picture of the base as well. This was taken back in 2018. A decently large base from the looks of it. I mean, I'm not a military expert, but it does look like a sizable base. Now it says, U.S. fighter jets launched airstrikes early Friday on 2 locations in eastern Syria linked to Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps, the Pentagon said, in retaliation for a slew of drone and missile attacks against U.S. bases and personnel in the region that began early last week. The U.S. strikes reflect the Biden administration's determination to maintain a delicate balance. The U.S. wants to hit Iranian-backed groups suspected of targeting the U.S. as strongly as possible to deter future aggression, possibly fueled by Israel's war against Hamas, while also working to avoid inflaming the region and provoking a wider conflict. According to a senior U.S. military official, the precision strikes were carried out near Bokamal by 2 F-16 fighter jets, and they struck weapons and ammunition storage areas that were connected to the IRGC. The official said that there had been Iranian-aligned militia and IRGC personnel on the base and no civilians, but the U.S. does not have any information yet on casualties or an assessment of damage. The official would not say how many munitions were launched by the F-16. So there was actually IRGC troops there on site. This says a senior defense official said the sites were chosen because the IRGC stores the types of munitions that were used in the strikes against U.S. bases and troops. The 2 officials briefed reporters after the strikes on condition of anonymity to provide details on the mission that had not yet been made public. So, I know you guys might be wondering, what is the IRGC? Because I didn't know the abbreviation, so I had to look into it as well. It stands for the Islamic Revolutionary Guard. It was established in May of 1979 in the aftermath of the Islamic Revolution. This is a branch of the Iran military. Now, usually we don't exchange fire with Iran. It did happen in 2020 when we killed Soleimani. And here is the article from this near Baghdad. And then Iran sent missiles at the Al-Assad air base. They sent over a dozen ballistic missiles to 2 bases in Iraq. But it was one of those situations where it was more symbolic than anything else. They weren't trying to really harm anyone. They were just trying to destroy some things, some planes or whatnot. They actually let the U.S. troops know that it was coming. They let the Iraq government know, literally let the U.S. know. So they weren't trying to like cause mass casualties or anything with these ballistic missiles, but to kind of try to flex their muscle and say, hey, this is what we have. Don't do that again, pretty much. Following that, the Iranian foreign minister said his country did not seek escalation or war, but will defend ourselves against any aggression. So again, it was just one of those situations. Now tensions are a little bit different. Hostilities are a little bit higher, I would say. The White House said this operation with these F-16s had no correlation to the Israel conflict. I find that very hard to believe. I think anyone's going to find that hard to believe. But, I mean, there's been 19 attacks now on different, military bases in that area. If you take a look at this post, senior U.S. defense officials have stated that the 2 airstrikes tonight in eastern Syria near the city of al-Bakmal were conducted by 2 F-16 Fighting Falcons of the U.S. Air Force, with the locations that were targeting consisting of a weapons storage facility and ammunition storage facility, both used by the IRGC and the Iranian-backed groups. However, it is currently unknown if any casualties occurred from the strike or if any Iranians were present at the facilities. And it says that they further state that while Iran may see these strikes as linked to the war in Israel, the U.S. sees these as separate responses that were done with no coordination from the Israeli government. So basically trying to say, hey, we just did this because you guys got to stop attacking us. Apparently it's the same munitions that have been used to attack these bases so far. And again, there's been like 19 of them. 3 of them happened on Thursday alone. It's about time. I mean, you can't just keep doing that and not expecting some sort of retaliation. Probably one of the only moments I've been proud of Biden and his decision-making skills so far. Let's not be too political, but that's just my opinion. Because, I mean, how can you just... you can't let that happen, okay? And I think Iran figures that out, and they know better. But this opens the door for a larger conflict, if that is the route that this thing goes down. For financial markets, there could be a big problem here, because this specific conflict is really not just with Iran. All of your Palestinian kind of origin, Arabic origin countries really don't support Israel here. They don't want this conflict to continue. I don't think anyone really does, but they're the ones that are really vocal about this. Now, this is the Persian Gulf. It's basically the only waterway that connects all of these different countries. You have Kuwait, you have, believe that is Qatar, you have the UAE, you have Saudi Arabia, you have Iran, right? You have all these oil-producing countries that produce their oil and send it through this choke point. It's very narrow through here. And this is a picture of oil tankers. You could see just what one of these represents, and there is a lot of them every single day, 20 to 30% of the world's oil supply. So if this conflict did get bad and, they really wanted to retaliate, by they, I mean Iran, or really any of these countries, they could do some sort of blockade on the Strait of Hormuz to maybe keep some oil from going through. Even 5% of the world's oil supply. If that got cut off, that would have huge financial effects for the price of gas, for the price of energy. You could see $10+ gallons of gas at the gas pump. $15, $20. Really, all bets are off the table at that point. That would be taking out tens of millions of barrels of oil out of the world every single day. Look at what happened when Saudi Arabia cut back 1 million barrels a day. Imagine if many times higher number was just no longer available. You would see sky high gas prices. And that's more so the financial implications due to this. Now, with the Yom Kippur War in the 70s, basically what's going on with Israel right now, but on a larger scale with all the neighboring countries kind of attacking Israel at the time, and then Israel attacking them. It was a pretty short war, but that was a 20% downside move. The Iraqi-Afghanistan conflict, that was about a 20% down move in the markets as well. Just the conflict itself can give you that 20% downside. You get to like 40% downside when you have implications for energy and when there, if we were to see like oil go crazy, right? That's where you get big downside for our markets. But any conflict at all, still not going to be great, and it's not going to be a good thing for our markets no matter what happens. So this is very preliminary. We don't have, the final details on this. We don't know if anyone was injured. We don't know how many buildings were destroyed. Again, it does look like a pretty large base with multiple facilities, right? Did they take out the whole thing, half of it, 2 buildings, 1 building? Like, what's the deal there? Okay. What does Iran say about this? I'm sure they'll be making a statement here anytime because they're going to. What do they say? After all, the verbiage that Iran's been using recently is just not good, right? It sounds very escalatory before this. So I can imagine now tensions are going to be even worse. Like I've said many times, probably over 100 times here on this channel, the markets can handle bad news. They can't handle uncertainty. This is a lot more uncertainty placed on this already uncertain situation. So there is that. The thing that I really want to point out here is this could actually be a big positive for Tesla. And I know you guys are like, that's not surprising, big positive for Tesla. But if energy did, like, for an example, we see like 10, 15, 20 gallons of gas. It's obvious, right? A lot of people are going to look towards EV. That would give EV a lot of popular attention because you literally wouldn't even be able to like go anywhere or do anything. The average person, right? They would be in a very bad situation very quickly. So would the broad economy, but it would give Tesla a lot more attention, probably drive a lot more sales to Tesla. But obviously in that event, the markets would be in the toilets. So that would be like an after effect that could last a while for Tesla. Now, do I think that is the most likely outcome? Obviously not. I'm just theoretically theorizing here that could be a positive event for Tesla. Now, the thing that I really want to talk about now is this fear move. Today, investors bought the bonds. So your fear assets, generally speaking, are bonds, gold, the US dollar. Those are things that are seen as like safety assets. Like if there was a WW3, where would you put your money? I mean, you could feel pretty good with the US dollar. You could feel pretty good with US treasuries. You could feel pretty good with gold. So that's what investors do when there's fear out there. TLT was up 1.53% today. You could argue that maybe the soft landing narrative, that maybe we're actually going to get that. We're going to get rate cuts. Rates are not going to be higher forever, played a role here. I don't know which one. Could have been both. Could have been the fear move and the soft landing narrative after the strong GDP report that we got this morning. But you never really know, okay? Now, this could cause investors to buy more bonds. That could drive down yields even more. As you guys already know, yields drop 10 to 13 basis points today on the 10, 20, 30-year treasuries. That's probably going to continue from here. And that's going to be good for your small, mid-cap companies, your companies that need to raise capital to fund operations or to refinance debt down the line. Those rates falling is very much good news for those companies, but also for Tesla, right? This is the other round of good news. If this does create some more fear and investors do buy the bonds and drive down yields, is about 90% of new vehicles are financed. So if rates come down and there's less pressure on the consumer as far as those monthly payments to finance a new vehicle, that's obviously going to be a big benefit to Tesla as well. So there are positive for Tesla here, but this is just not a great situation overall. It's not a great situation for the markets. You guys watching this video, it just destabilizes the situation even more. So we'll have to wait and see. I will keep you guys updated coming tomorrow on any new developments in this situation. I wanted to give you guys a little bit more details on this. Again, remind you why this situation can be important. The markets are probably going to react to this coming tomorrow, especially when we get new comments from Iran or maybe from other countries or militia groups. Whoever comments on this, the markets are going to pay attention. That's the bottom line. The markets will pay attention to this. So that is going to go ahead and do it for this video. Hit that like button as well as subscribe to the channel if you guys want to take it a step further. Come get access to all of my trades in real time. Every time I make a trade, I send out alerts. Link down below in the description of this video. For anyone that is a part of that as well, there is going to be a course coming out. Everything you need to know from trading, different strategies, basically everything, A to Z from a beginner to an expert will be provided in a course for free to all of you guys that are a part of that community. It will be sent out over on Patreon, so whoever is on that at the time the course is done is going to get that sent to them for free. So if you guys want to be a part of it, check it out. It's going to have so many things, basic kind of financial hacks, just how to better budget, how to do all kinds of stuff, leverage your money in, a little bit of real estate, all kinds of stuff. I'm very excited to put that information out for you guys and to hopefully help everyone out there. Just get the knowledge. I'm kind of amazed how many people join the trading community that are just awesome people, like have fantastic portfolios and know exactly what they're doing, but have no clue about different trading strategies, which everyone's there, right? Nobody knows everything right away, and you're not going to. But something like this definitely would have helped me out a long time ago, and I want to be able to do that for as many people as possible. So that is it. Thank you for watching. My name is Michael Tyler. Enjoy the rest of your day or night, and I will see you in the next one.